Let's close out today's show with the Rotoworld Player news and kind of a real gloomy section of player news. JJ McCarthy will miss the season after surgery to repair the meniscus. We said on a couple, maybe yesterday or 2 days ago, that it could be a trim, it could be a repair. They cut into the knee. It's a full repair. McCarthy will miss all of his rookie season. So, Matthew, your QB 26, Sam Darnold, now is the starter for the Vikings for the season. Is there any world where Darnold can be, maybe this is lofty, but last year Baker Mayfield was probably hovering around QB 26, and he had a resurgence. If anyone could do it, it's got to be Kevin O'Connell for Sam Darnold.
Top 5 in pass attempts and passing touchdowns in both of O'Connell's 2 seasons as a head coach. That's what the Minnesota Vikings were, right? Again, they had Kirk Cousins for the majority of that, but he is somebody that wants to throw the ball, that is a pass-first guy. Since O'Connell became the head coach in Minnesota, the Vikings are #1 in red zone passing rate. So, there's a scenario where Sam Darnold, who has had flashes of fantasy success, it's never been sustained, but he's also been a bunch of bad situations. And so now there's no concern about JJ McCarthy. Awful news. We wish him a speedy recovery as well. But, there's always a chance that he could falter and all of a sudden we see Nick Mullins again. But I think that Sam Darnold has a much longer leash than he did with a healthy J.J. McCarthy in that quarterback room with him, and playing in a dome with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and eventually T.J. Hawkinson under a pass-first, fantasy-friendly coach. Yeah, there's absolutely a scenario where Sam Darnold becomes, a Baker Mayfield-type, like a guy that you use, a very viable 2-quarterback league guy, and a guy that you use on, in 1-quarterback leagues in the right situation, like as a bye-week fill-in type guy. So, he's on the sleeper radar for sure.
Do you think, Connor, having watched a lot of Sam Darnold, lived the Sam Darnold experience, that he still has the talent and upside to have the year that Baker Mayfield had last year?
I do. The key for him with O'Connell is that O'Connell's the guy that can limit the mistakes. With Darnold, it's never he can't do this. He could do everything. He could even run a little bit when he needs to. It's the back-breaking red zone turnovers, the back-breaking mistakes in between the 20s. And O'Connell is the guy, you look at what he did for Josh Dobbs off the street at times last year. Quarterbacks like that, O'Connell is the guy that knows how to limit those mistakes. And also, when is Sam Darnold ever going to play with a receiver as talented as Justin Jefferson, right, on his own? Which kind of brings us to the next section of news here, Jay. Jordan Addison was carted off the field at Vikings camp. He's undergoing tests, but he is expected to be okay. Obviously, it's going to be important for Addison to be healthy in this offense for Sam Darnold, because T.J. Hawkinson is most likely not going to be ready to start this season.
Yeah, it's good news that we've had 2 guys recently carted off, and it seems like they're fine between Tyrone Tacy and now Jordan Addison. I think that it's interesting. I think clearly Addison being around has to help Sam Darnold. It's interesting to think of what the effect that he would have on Justin Jefferson and whether Jefferson benefits from Addison going down. I think that the offense is the skill positions are so weak outside of Hawkinson and Addison that you kind of want guys out there to steal a little bit of attention away from Justin Jefferson. But given that it seems like Addison will be fine, I don't think there's really any action off of this.
Yeah, I think without Addison and without Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones will be involved a little bit in the pass game, but Jefferson would be living in bracket coverage for sure. Barry, another bit of important injury news here. This is per Jordan Schultz. Jahmyr Gibbs, who's been dealing with a hamstring strain, he should be ready for week 1. And this is a guy that's going to be, obviously fixated in your top 8 running backs here, Matthew. So with that status, the expectation of him being ready for week 1, that causes him to not move at all, right? Because you said that, hey, there could be a chance if this lingers that maybe he does drop a spot or 2.
Yeah, I put Jonathan Taylor ahead of him. I'm still a little bit nervous. I saw the report from Jordan Schultz. I would have loved to see that from somebody else as well. He's the only guy that I've seen put that out there. And, Jordan doesn't take a lot of shots, but when he does, he usually hits. So I feel like it's probably pretty solid. But you'd feel better about it if you saw, a Detroit beat reporters, one of the national guys also echo those sentiments. And so far, we haven't seen that. So, seems like we're out of the woods with Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'm not 100% sure we are until I want to hear that from Dan Campbell, or I want to hear that from another source as well. It's one that you'd like to get 2 sources. I have Jonathan Taylor ahead of Gibbs, but again, still an elite option. Gibbs is.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Rotoworld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.